The QSSM-3114 and the QSSP-3114 are an advanced 4K seamless KVM switch with hotkey and serial control. This KVM features a built-in hardware output scaler, which can scale down the resolution to 1080p or scale up the resolution to 3840 by 2160, which is useful for long-haul applications, fiber optic HDMI redrivers, and HDMI projectors. The QSSM-3114 features up to 4K 60 input resolution and also has a form ID and output selector for the console HDMI output. It also has DB9 via RJ11 and USB-C serial control. The USB interface architecture of these KVMs is unique. Each input PC has a 5 gigabit USB Type-B input, and there is one 5 gigabit USB 3 port on the front and rear. These USB 3 ports do support USB 3 hubs for more USB 3 peripherals. In addition to that, the KVM features a number of USB HID inputs, including a special USB number pad input to control certain features of the KVM. The USB HID ports are meant for USB HID devices. A USB HID device generally does not require a driver. If your USB device needs a driver, it is recommended to use the USB 3 port instead of a USB HID port. Wireless keyboards and mice and wireless number pads are supported on the HID ports, of course, but you can also use wired mice and keyboards. USB audio-video devices, such as a webcam, can also be used, but it is recommended to use the USB 3 port. The resolution and group switches at the back of the KVM can be used to control the output scaler. Please refer to the table in the documentation for output scaling. The KVM does support special medical resolutions like 2048 by 2048 that are commonly found on medical instrumentation and medical displays. The absolute maximum resolution and refresh rate output of the console display for this model KVM is 4096 by 2160 at 60 Hz. KVM serial control defaults to 19200 bits per second, but it can be configured between 9600 baud and 115200 bits per second. The USB-C port is auto-configuring. The KVM is compliant with high-definition content protection HDCP 2.2 and 1.4, though for medical applications the HDCP can be disabled to allow unencrypted content to pass through the KVM. The KVM also features 3.5mm audio. The 3.5mm audio input is analog from each input PC. If you hear noise or buzzing, please relocate the KVM to be away from external interference such as power bricks or air conditioning or anything that generates a sizable electromagnetic field. The 3.5mm audio inputs may require the use of a ground loop isolator in order to eliminate noise. The KVM can also be controlled via shortcut keys from a HID-compliant keyboard and a HID input port on the KVM, as well as the push buttons on the front of the KVM. Do note that this KVM is fully HDR10 signaling compliant, so that'll support up to 4K 60 Hz in the 444 chroma depth. The KVM supports a number of hotkeys for more than just computer selection. That can include auto scan, so that the KVM will automatically rotate between inputs. Audio selection, meaning that you can control the audio input selection independent of the KVM input selection, as well as the USB 3.2 port. The QSSP-3114 version of this KVM features DisplayPort-In, as well as DisplayPort and HDMI out. The HDMI output in the QSSP-3114 is a clone of the DisplayPort output.